Alhamdulillah. I know you got this. You don't like this. It's good to be back.
The Art of Violence presents the most heated rivalry in UFC history. KHABIB vs CONOR. In October 2018, the UFC witnessed one of the most intense, controversial, and unforgettable nights in its history, the lightweight title showdown between KHABIB Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. This fight wasn't just about belts or records. It was a clash of cultures, personalities, and deeply personal vendettas that spilled far beyond the octagon. This is the story of how KHABIB vs McGregor became one of the biggest moments in MMA history. KHABIB Nurmagomedov, the undefeated Russian grappler with a perfect 26-0 record, known for his relentless ground game and almost inhuman pressure. Representing Dagestan and his family's honor, KHABIB was a no-nonsense fighter with a single-minded purpose. To him, discipline and respect came above all else, and he carried these values into every fight. On the other hand, Conor McGregor was the polar opposite. Known as the Notorious, McGregor wasn't just a fighter. He was a showman, a trash talker, and one of the most successful stars the UFC had ever seen. As the first ever double champion, Conor's powerful left hand and charisma made him a global sensation. After taking a detour into boxing to fight Floyd Mayweather, Conor's return to the UFC wasn't just for a title, it was for supremacy over the lightweight division and to reclaim his throne. Both men wanted to be the undisputed king of the lightweight division. But this fight was about more than that. It was about pride, legacy, and the tension between two worlds. The bad blood began to boil during UFC 223 Fight Week in Brooklyn. KHABIB had an altercation with Conor's teammate, Artem Lobov, in a hotel lobby. KHABIB and his team confronted Lobov over previous comments, with KHABIB pressing him up against a wall in a show of intimidation. When Conor heard about this, he flew to New York with his entourage, determined to defend his friend and send a message to KHABIB. But what happened next would go down as one of the most infamous incidents in UFC history. As KHABIB and other fighters were on a bus ready to leave, Conor and his crew ambushed it. In a moment of rage, Conor picked up a metal dolly and hurled it at the bus, smashing the window and injuring fighters inside. The UFC world was stunned, and the entire UFC 223 card was thrown into chaos. The fallout was immediate. Conor was charged, fined, and forced to pay restitution. The incident only added more fuel to the fire. Fans were now hungrier than ever for the fight. It wasn't just a UFC event anymore, it was a full-blown grudge match between fan bases and cultures. The build-up to UFC 229 was unlike anything fans had seen before. The press conference only intensified the tension. Known for his mind games, Conor used every opportunity to get under KHABIB's skin. But this time, it was different. Conor didn't just talk about the fight, he went after KHABIB's religion, family, and heritage. Conor didn't hold back, bringing a bottle of his new whiskey brand Proper 12 and mocking KHABIB's abstinence from alcohol. He even taunted KHABIB's father, Abdulmanap, calling him a coward and questioning their family's integrity. KHABIB didn't take the bait. He remained stoic and focused, clearly angered, but refusing to play into Conor's game. For KHABIB, this was not just a fight, this was about defending his name and his values. And then, the night finally arrived. October 6th, 2018, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Fans from around the world gathered to witness what was billed as the biggest fight in UFC history. The atmosphere was electric. Everyone knew something unforgettable was about to go down. Conor made his entrance with his signature swagger and confidence, draped in the Irish flag and seemingly unfazed by the tension surrounding this fight. For him, this was a moment of redemption and a chance to reclaim the belt he believed belonged to him. KHABIB walked in with his usual calm demeanor, the Dagestani flag over his shoulders and his papaka hat on his head. He was carrying not just his pride, but the weight of Dagestan and his family's legacy on his shoulders. This was his chance to silence the trash talk and to prove, once and for all, who was the true champion, the dominant fashion. But the story didn't end there. As soon as the fight was over, KHABIB turned his attention to Conor's team, specifically Conor's training partner, Dillon Danis, who had been taunting him throughout the fight. In an explosive moment, KHABIB jumped over the cage and charged at Danis, igniting a massive brawl in the crowd. Security rushed in, but the situation spiraled out of control. While KHABIB went after Danis, members of KHABIB's team jumped into the octagon and confronted Conor, with punches being thrown. The arena was in chaos, and fans were left stunned at the sight of this all-out brawl. In the aftermath, both fighters faced consequences. KHABIB was fined and suspended, and members of both teams faced penalties. The UFC was in damage control mode, with Dana White condemning the actions and the media going into a frenzy. While KHABIB defended his actions as a response to Conor's insults, the brawl overshadowed the fight itself. The world watched as the UFC faced one of its biggest controversies ever. The KHABIB vs McGregor fight wasn't just another title defense. It was a cultural phenomenon, a clash of philosophies, and a reminder of the intensity of rivalries in combat sports. KHABIB's victory cemented his legacy as one of the greatest in UFC history, while Conor's comeback dreams were crushed, at least for now. KHABIB vs McGregor was more than a fight. It was a historic moment in sports. This fight had everything: drama, controversy, and an unforgettable ending. To this day, it remains one of the UFC's most unforgettable events, with fans still talking about every detail, every punch, and every moment. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Whose side are you on? KHABIB or Conor?